Welcome to the Rebel Matriarch Podcast. My name is Samantha Sanford and I am your host, and I want to invite you into this session with an open heart and an open mind, because this is not just a podcast. It is a global movement, a global uprising, and this is a representation of what is truly possible and available to women today. Hello, gorgeous human beings, and welcome to the Rebel Matriarch Podcast. My name is Samantha Sanford and I am your host. And today I have a very special woman. And this session was in the making. We have been trying back and forth to find the right time to make it work. And I just knew without a shadow of a doubt that this conversation needed to happen. And so I'm really honored that I get to bring to you Tegan today, because I only know bits and pieces of her story, and I know that it's only literally the tip of the iceberg. And these conversations are really important to be had. And so I really want you to take a deep breath and prepare to receive some beautiful wisdom, codes, medicine, and also just witness her in her story. And then reflect back to yourself. How does this apply to me? Or how can I resonate with this? Or what does this mean for me? I can already feel the energy building. So Tegan, I am really honored that you're doing this podcast with me, because I know that your story is really important and I'm so grateful that you're here. So welcome to the Rebel Matriarch Podcast.
Thank you. I feel so honored to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you have a unique gift that your light language is really starting to be activated. And so what I have found in our back and forth conversations is that you'd be talking to me and your light language comes through. And I love this, and it's welcome here. And I also want to touch on this really quickly, because I want people to actually start noticing these things, recognizing these things, honoring the gifts of these things. And for those who are like, what's light language? And why is it that it's just coming through? I would love for you to also explain what that is for you.
Yeah, sure. So should I start with how it started with me, maybe?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, cool. So I kept on getting beautiful healers around me in sessions, in healing sessions, because I've been into energy work since my 20s. And they just kept on saying to me, like this weird language that I wasn't quite sure about. And it just seemed odd and foreign. And it was almost like it brought me back into my body, though. And it like felt embodied and it felt really raw. And there was something heart opening for me. And every time they spoke this language, it was like it was bringing up something for me that I couldn't describe. I felt it, I knew it, and it like resonated with me, even though I didn't know what the hell was going on. And it felt as if like it was bringing up some remembrance pieces for me. So the more and more I heard light language, the more and more it resonated for me, and the more I wanted to actually come out. And it was a remembrance piece for me, and it was like an inner knowing that I was supposed to speak this foreign language. And it does sound pretty odd to most people who haven't heard it before, I must admit that. And some of the vocabulary can be quite high pitched, and it can be quite low, and sometimes it can go from there to there quite quickly as well. It's very fast, and it can be very masculine sounding as well. So it can be quite scary as well.
Yeah, I love that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What's happening in your body? So when the light language is coming through you, are you in control of it, or what's happening?
I feel that I'm in control of it. I feel that there is a resonance through my body, though. There's like it's almost like I feel that there's codes coming down from the universe and bringing it into my womb space, into my heart space. And there's like a collective energy wanting to be expressed. And I can feel it like building up in my body, because my body is so sensitive, because I have gone on such a big journey to get to more sensitivity within my body and know my body now. There was a journey. I can feel that energy rising per se, and it's exciting for me, and it's fun, and it's playful for me as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
And when you speak the light language, what is the purpose of that? Or does the purpose change?
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure of the purpose, apart from the fact that it's just codes and love and healing and clearing coming through. So the way that I describe light language is that the most highest form of intelligence or highest form of healing vibrational energy that comes into this human body that we can handle at this time. And so when we speak it, it's like the most highest vibrational energy that we can speak as well.
So for someone to receive your light language, they're receiving something really special.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's ancient. It's ancient, and it's really, really, really hard to grasp for my human brain still to this day, to be honest. Yeah.
Yes, I believe this. And I know that there will be, and honestly, at this rate, there will always be, until sometime in the future, people who think, well, that's just ridiculous, or that's just nonsense, or you're just making it up, and cool. I will acknowledge that those people exist. And then also, I know more so now more than ever, people are really starting to realize how much more there is, and that it's not just this flesh suit that we're existing in, and that people really do have some extraordinary gifts. And so I love that you are embracing one aspect of your multidimensional self, because what are some of the other aspects of your multidimensional self?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously for me, I've had to go through a lot of healing and a lot of cleansing around expression. And I feel my voice and my expression is one of my most provident gifts that I've got this lifetime. And the beautiful thing about having a gift like this is going through all the tests, obviously. And I've had so many tests about being seen and how I express myself, and the way that people, acknowledge my gift or not acknowledge my gift, and the judgments. But yes, this lifetime, I feel my biggest gift is my voice and sharing my voice. And it's been hard, to be honest. It's not been the easiest part. But yeah, that's my biggest gift, apart from my inner knowing, is probably my biggest gift alongside that. Yeah.
Yes. What were some of the tests that you've been through?
Oh, probably one of the biggest ones that I went through was when my daughter started to show basically symptoms of not doing well and producing, like going along the scales of what children are meant to be, right? And when the doctors didn't believe anything that I was saying and how I'm raising my daughter, because I am very on the holistic path, I'm not very black and white. I'm in between the boxes per se, what most people would think is a very normal life. So I decided to breastfeed my daughter until she was 2.5 years old. I didn't vaccinate my daughter because I knew that was the best path for us. I decided not to feed her foods that most society eats, to be honest. I'm on a vegan, plant-based lifestyle. So they blamed all of that because of the way that she is. And so that was one of my biggest lessons, is to speak up for myself and to speak with grace and ease, and not be so angry against even like the medical field that it seems like they were attacking me. So yeah, it was really, really difficult, to be honest.
And how are you navigating this now as the world is evolving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you ask me a little bit deeper?
Yes. So, well, when did it start with your daughter that you had to start advocating for her?
Yeah. So my daughter, I noticed a slight change in her body and the way that she was moving at about 12 to 13 months, and noticed her deterioration start happening about that age, and the ability of not wanting to try to crawl anymore. And she started her muscle mass in her legs and her arms, like shrunk down in size. So instead of being this beefy, natural breastfeed baby, she looked like this skinny little rake, basically. Yeah, which is horrific for a first-time mum when you don't believe in the medical way, to the point that we never saw doctors all throughout her first year. So, yeah, very, very devastating.
Yeah, and this was, because how old's your daughter now?
She's 13 years old, almost 14 years old.
That's beautiful. Wow, teenager. Dun, dun,
Yes.
dun. Hey, so then when this was all coming through, because I have very similar values to you. I'm exactly the same. Breastfed,
Yes.
2.5, don't vaccinate, all of it, right?
Yes.
But my journey stemmed from what happened with COVID, right?
Right.
That was what I was always open-minded, but COVID came and I was like, what the hell is going on? Right.
Yes.
I went through all the rabbit holes and I made some really big decisions and I was like, no. So a lot of my decisions are based off of that. I still carry a lot of anger and resentment. So when it comes to being pregnant and going through the hospital system, and it was hard, right?
I can imagine. Yes.
And so you're expressing that when she was quite young, and you've learned to speak to the medical field whenever you need to with grace and compassion but certainty. But in these last 5 years or 6 years, with everything that's been happening, right, with COVID and with the changes that are happening in the States, where they're trying to reduce the vaccination, like all the conversations, because back when you started, it wasn't as commonly spoken about.
No.
And so you literally had to do it mostly, if not all, on your own.
Yeah.
One, I just want to admire your courage, and I have so much respect and admiration for that, because doing it now, like in these past 3-4 years, but having so much more support and knowledge and access to resources, it's still really hard.
Yes.
And so I'm just really honoring your courage and your journey, because most people wouldn't have taken that. And so it's because of women like you, women like me are now able to make better choices and have more knowledge around this stuff. And so when I'm saying, what's it like for you now? You've got a lot more camaraderie. You've got a lot more women who are supporting you, a lot more women and men that have similar values, but also the medical system is really starting to crack. Like it's starting to crumble. People are starting to realize what the pharmaceutical companies are doing, how medical professionals are actually, being paid and showed up, and like people are starting to see the cracks.
Yes.
So do you still have that compassion, or is there more anger, or is there more stability? How does that feel for you now?
It's really an open question, and I could go so many ways with this, to be honest. I've come a long way, because my daughter, being the way that she is this lifetime, unfortunately wheelchair bound, she still has to be in the medical system, no matter how much I fight back, no matter how much I try to find other ways to heal her, because I feel that's a big part of my life this lifetime, is to want to heal her. It just comes naturally. And so I've gone through so many avenues to go down, as you say, the rabbit holes, to find, cures, to find ways to support her life, to have a longer life, to have a happy life, to have a sustainable and the most rewarding life for her. But in saying that, I still need to rely on medical stuff, unfortunately. And it's a big eye opener for me that there's still a little part of medical that we still need, unfortunately, especially when it comes to emergency. That's the one thing that I rely on. When my daughter is sick from a common cold and it goes to her chest and she gets a chest infection, I cannot do that on my own, no matter how hard I try. And it's not just a chest infection, it's dealing with a child with 25% lung function who cannot cough the way that we do to bring her mucus up. So she initially can get drowned in her own phlegm. So I have to, unfortunately, live this life against the medical fields that I have so much. It's not hate anymore, because I've let that go. I've had to let that go, and I've had to heal that side of things. But there's so much frustration that they haven't got onto a lot of things yet. That's what it is, but it's acceptance at the same time, and understandable that there are beautiful nurses out there and there's beautiful doctors out there that do want to help our children, and that they are there to help. It's just the association and the people above them that I really get frustrated and angry about, to be honest. But yeah, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, that would have to be like a whole other
Yes.
conversation because it's a long one. But
Yes.
what was coming through is that, because I do agree there are medical professionals who have a genuine desire for people's health
Yes.
and not, covering up symptoms and whatnot.
Yes.
And I believe that there's a co-creation between mothers and fathers, such as yourself, who are massive advocates and will not bow down.
Yes.
And it's the coming together of you and these particular kinds of medical professionals. And you can already see it. There are a lot more integrative medical practitioners, and there's a lot more coming about. So I know that there's a coming about.
Yes.
But, it's probably, I don't know, it's like what, 5%, right? And so there's like this 95% mass of all the things, hypocrisy and
yes.
all of it. But
Yes.
I love that. I'm grateful. How do I say this without it coming out the wrong way? I'm not grateful that any child or person goes through any of the things, right? So it's not that I'm grateful that your daughter is going through what she's going through, but I am grateful that she was given to you, someone who's actually able to stand up and advocate and be part of a solution, right? That we're moving towards. And so thank you for your work and being so committed to all the things, starting with what you can do. And then things are going to unfold. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I imagine that your ability to advocate for her and yourself didn't just happen overnight. I imagine there was like a lifelong journey of trials and tribulations.
Absolutely.
That sort of shaped who you became. And so I would love to deepen a little bit more of your story on how you became this woman, if you're open to that.
I am, absolutely. Can you give me some direction?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When it comes to your gifts, so your expression, your light language, your multidimensional self, has that always been a part of your journey? Or is that just something that's happened recently?
Yes and no. I believe we're all gifted. I believe we have all got innate, beautiful, multi-dimensional, beautiful gifts. I believe that. But because of conditioning, because of trauma, because of the way that society is, because of the matrix, because of so much crap, because of past lives and the crap that we bring in from that, okay? The conditioning that we have, the food that we ate as children and the water we drank and the spraying in the skies, like there's so much there, to be honest. Once we take that away and we start pulling that away, once we start actually getting down to the core of who we truly are at our essence, and we truly look inside without the lies, without the bullshit, without the stories that we tell ourselves, who we are and what we are, and the labels that we want to put on ourselves from our childhood, from our parents, from society. Once we take all that away, then we have the gift. And once we can start using that gift and start expressing ourselves openly and start connecting with other light workers or empaths or whatever you want to call yourself, right? Like another word is highly sensitive. There's a lot of highly sensitives out there that don't want to put the empath title on themselves. But I believe my gift has always been there. It's just I was too clouded by judgment, too scared by my ego, and too traumatized that I wasn't allowed to express myself and I wasn't allowed to be seen in this lifetime and other lifetimes, that it was really hard for me to see, if that helps.
It does. It just opens up more questions. What were some of those experiences for you that you're willing to share in terms of, being a representation of what we're able to overcome, but also for women to reflect on their own lives and go, where is my gift being muted or diluted or hidden from me because of ...
Yeah.
Are there particular life experiences that you've had along the way that stand out as something you had to overcome?
Yeah, gosh, that's a big question, to be honest. And for me, I think it was little points in my life that awoke me. And those points in my life, one was my father passing away when I was 7 years old, which was a big, big pivotal point of my life that cracked my heart open. It cracked my soul open. I think there's part of me that like left behind my actual body and went up as well. Because my dad, I believe, was an empath and a light worker like myself. There was so much anger towards God, which I had to obviously work on in time. But that truly, 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 that point in my life opened me up to my gifts. And I started seeing stuff from that point. And I had to hide it and push it down. And then I think there was like a series of events in my life that I just was just like, I trust, I believe. And the more I trusted and believed in myself, then the more that things awoken for me and cracked my heart open. Like another close family member passed on, which my nana, and she has a beautiful big heart like myself. And we just know each other on a soul level. And same with my father. And those two passing really cracked my heart open, to be honest. So the grief, okay, and going to the darkest point of grief and saying, why the fuck did you leave me behind, you assholes, for one? And
Yeah.
so what is the purpose of all of this? Like, why am I here? Like, what the fuck? Like, because it got me in such a dark place. I was able to rise out of that with little steps. I went through quite a dark night of the soul, to be honest, up to the age of 30 years old when my daughter was born. And I had high addictions, I had high trauma, I had rape, I had sexual abuse. I've been through a lot of initiations, you could say, to really open myself up. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. And if you want to know any more, I'm happy to dive in.
Yeah, well, I just want to sort of sit in witness of you at the moment, because it's a lot of initiations to process. And at the time of going through those initiations, did you have support? Did you have people you could go to?
Nothing, to be honest. And I think it was that I had to be alone. Being an only child as well, I've had to go through so many things alone. And still to this day, I'm very, very alone in my hermit lifestyle, to be honest. And that is my biggest strength. As much as I've been alone in my darkness and I've been alone in my journey, being a light worker, being an empath, whatever label you want to put on it, it's been my biggest strength. Yeah.
And then because you didn't have support or anyone to sort of guide you through it, it all sort of, you started to make different choices when you got pregnant with your daughter?
Yeah, so I got a vision of my daughter when I was in my full addictions. And I was with her father at the time. He was a DJ and we had the most fun times. Seriously, we would, because we'd go to parties and he'd be the DJ and everyone would adore us and look after us. And we'd just have the most fun because I love dancing. I still do to this day. And I love music. It's a great way for me to express myself and be my feminine. Anyway, this one birthday, I think it was my 27th birthday, and I had a masquerade, and I had like DJs from Christchurch come in, and I had the most amazing friends at the time. We were living in Nelson, New Zealand at the time, and life was grand. I had this vision of my daughter. I was high as fuck, obviously, but I had visions a lot when I was high as fuck as well, and they were like deep, deep visions that I cannot ever stop knowing about that inner knowing that it was true. I had this deep, deep vision when I was looking at myself in the mirror. For one, I saw myself as an old lady if I kept down that road. I saw myself as an old lady that her beauty was gone. Okay, and my teeth were gone. The wrinkles were obvious. I was in my 50s and my hair was gone, and it looked like I wasn't me anymore. And you know, like I'm not big on having to look beautiful all the time. Like, to be honest, you know, this first time I've worn makeup in many, many months. It's not a big thing for me, but I do take pride in how I look, and I do want to look like a fit and good 50-year-old, and I don't want to look like a drug addict, right? And that was one of the masks I was wearing, right? Because I still looked really, really good, even though I was in deep in addiction in my 20s. So she came through and she said, look, you got two versions of yourself that you can go down. You can go down the lighter path that you can have children and you can have me in your life. And I know that this is going to be really profound lifestyle for you if you choose this, or you can have this lifestyle and carry on having fun, being at parties, being at Myers, being the DJ's girlfriend and one day wife, if that's the way that you want to go. And I was just like, whoa. And I just knew in my body that this lifetime, I'm not meant to go down this drug addicted life. And I know that it was like not meant to be for me because my own father, unfortunately, overdosed on methadone. So I know that there was like such codes in that for me not to carry on that lifestyle that he did. And I know there was lessons for me in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's one of them.
Yeah. And, I resonate because my dad died when I was a baby because of drug and alcohol abuse.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's been a similar journey where I never got into drugs, but I had, and I still work with an addictive personality. And so I was drinking, but then I never really got into the drinking with like cigarettes.
Yes.
If I could, like, now I've stopped smoking for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And the thought of smoking now just makes me go, no, I can't do it.
Yes.
But, at the time I was like, I could do this forever, even though it's bad for you. And then there's, other addictions and things like that. But it's really intentional when you're going through these phases, these initiations, dark nights of the soul of like, do I really want to end up in this same place? And it requires such inner authority, right?
It does. Absolutely.
To be able to stick the course and continue to make the right choices, especially when you're going to hit bumps in the road.
Yeah.
Or you make wrong choices and you're like, damn it, I shouldn't have picked that thing up. Now I've got to go over it again. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'm curious to know, because you mentioned that there were a lot of initiations that you were going through at this point when you were with the DJ and you were partying and everything like that, because you mentioned sexual assault and abuse and rape. Had that happened prior to this, or did that happen after?
It did happen prior to it, and unfortunately it was around when I was younger. My first boyfriend that I was with, he actually raped me my first time, unfortunately. And it was a series of like an 7-year cycle that I got sexually abused as a 7-year-old at the same year that my father passed on. And then got raped 7 years on, and then got raped again 7 years on. And then I realized at that point, it's just like, no, I'm no longer wanting for the cycle to continue. And for it to happen in my ancestry, that happened to my mum and my grandmother and her grandmother as well. I know that I'm a cycle breaker, and I know that I would not allow that to happen to my daughter. And I knew that at, like quite a tender age, at the age of like 17, 18, I just not know that I was no longer allowing myself to be a victim in this, and no longer wanting a man to take advantage of me in that way, and no longer standing for it as well. But it took a few years for me to realize the power of that declaration, for one, and the power of me actually standing my power. It took me a while to, I guess, implement that into my life. Yeah.
What did that look like for you? You realized that there was a pattern, and then you were like, you know what? Fuck this shit.
Yes.
Like, this actually doesn't have to be the way.
Yes.
What were some of the changes that you made, or the choices that you made that allowed you to be sovereign again?
Yeah. So I was making choices of not being in situations where I was so drunk, or so drunk and had the drugs at the same time, in strange places where there was men that were either older than me or quite dodgy. You know what I mean? Like, and not putting myself in such situations where they could take advantage of me, because there wouldn't be many people that I didn't know. And because I was such a rebel and I was such a party animal and I was such a curious girl, and I put myself in situations quite along where there was gangs and maybe not so the greatest people to hang out with me, when I'm such a pure soul, and I realize that now, and when I'm such I can be quite vulnerable and quite, and I'm not saying that I was weak, it's just I didn't know my power. And I started to realize that just because I was young doesn't mean I am weak. And just because I am young doesn't mean that I should be looked down upon. And just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I need to be taken advantage of. So I started using my voice and I started using my power and I started to say no, and I started to get myself out of bad situations. And I started to have more aligned friendships per se.
I love that.
Yes.
And what has the progression of that been? So you started making choices around who you would hang out with and what substances you were using.
Yeah.
And then you started speaking up for yourself and saying no. And then you started creating aligned friendships or connections that were aligned with a brighter
Yes.
future and a happier you.
Yes.
And how has that progressed since then in terms of your relationship to your body and your connection to
Yes.
your body and
Yes.
the kind of relationships that you have now?
Wow. Yeah. I've probably come a long way, probably in the most 10 years, to be honest. I think for me, what my problem is also was there was codes inside of me that were reliable on codependent relationships as well. And that was my biggest addiction, is to be wanting to be loved, wanting to be seen, and wanting to be held in a way. And I was just going for the wrong men and attracting the wrong men for quite a long time there. And it's probably only the last 5 years, to be honest, that I've really seen such a pattern. And I saw the need in me and saw that the inner child for what she really wanted. And that's probably been the biggest part, is actually doing the inner child work, doing the shadow work, doing the mirror work, and actually loving myself through the pain and loving myself through all my bad decisions, loving myself through all the rebellion, loving myself through all my darkness, through all the Lilith points, okay? Even though, yes, I was raped, and even though, yes, I was taking drugs, but there was still a part of me that absolutely loved the attention and loved the slushiness that I was doing and loved the attention that I was getting from men, but it wasn't the right sort of attention that was good for my soul. But there was this character that I was playing as well, the seductress, right? This
Yeah.
mermaid, pulling me in.
Siren.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And realizing, my character that I was playing, because we're all playing characters a lot of the time, all these archetypes.
Archetypes.
Yeah. And a lot of the time I didn't realize I was playing it until like later on in life, and my 30s. It's just like, hey, I'm actually playing this role. Like, what? But the more I understood myself, the more personal development I looked into, the more resources, the more tools that I looked into to honor myself, to respect myself, to put more confidence in myself, and the more that I could let go of the past, let go of the hurt, the hate, the despise. There was so much that I felt towards men and the masculine as well, and the places that I went with them, and the places that they put me down in as well. Like, I've had to do a lot of mindset work and a lot of heart set work, and also a lot of inner child work. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of yes/no questions for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Going through all of that work, doing all of that work, was it easy?
No.
Was it worth it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'd do it all over again if I had to. And to be honest, I'm at the point where those people that hurt me in the past time, I forgive them. I appreciate them for waking me up to be the person that I am now. which takes a hard fucking pill to swallow. And it takes a big look at yourself, like, where was I? What was my character, or who was the person that I was displaying for them? And what was my role in their life as well?
Yes. Yes, that's right. Yes. And what were the benefits of everything that I went through? Because we're really good and we're very self-aware on witnessing and knowing what all the bad things are.
Yeah.
All this happened, and because of that, this and this and this sucks in my life. All of this happened, and because of that,
Yes.
and this is hard in my life. And while those things are true,
Yes.
there is also an acceptance of what did it teach me, and how did it benefit me, and how is it benefiting my kids if I have kids, or just my future if I don't have kids.
Yeah.
So I love this conversation, and I'm curious to know what is your relationship like with men now?
To be honest, it's something that I'm still healing, and it's something that I still find challenging, especially being a single woman
And a single mother.
and a single mother, 100% single mama as well.
Yeah.
And I moved countries to protect my daughter. I won't go into it too much.
That's okay.
But
That's okay.
I would do anything to protect my children, especially my daughter, and her mental health and her health. And it's hard to find the masculine that accepts that, loves me for that, and is ready to take on a child that has got a physical disability as well. I absolutely adore men now and absolutely appreciate men. And there's still a little bit of a way to go for me to, I believe, attract my true love. And that's what I want. But I believe that it's true and that it can happen now. And probably 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was just like, no. So, but I believe that the masculine is changing and evolving. And I believe they are rising, and I believe they are changing, and I believe they want to actually evolve. And I believe that there's such a beautiful rising of the masculine happening right now. And they actually want to hold space for women, and they actually want to go on the healing path themselves, and they want to heal their own wounded child, which is exciting. It's exciting for women like myself that have been single a long time, and am only going to stay single and date myself until that right man turns up. I'm not going to settle any longer. Like, that is just something that I will not do for myself and for my daughter as well. Yeah. So it's exciting.
It is exciting. It is exciting. And I have full faith that he's out there. Like, I have full faith, because I've seen the same in the rise up of men who have absolute love and respect for women and their mothers and their sisters and their daughters and women in general. And I know that he's out there for you. And so I hold space for when this moment happens.
Thank you.
I love this.
Yes.
And I really value this conversation because you're willing to date yourself and continue to fall in love with yourself, respect your body, respect your value, respect your worth. And you're not willing to settle for yourself or for your daughter. And so you're a representation of what's possible for your daughter, right? When we hold the boundary, hold what's available for us. But you're also a representation of that for women, because well, you mentioned, in having experienced sexual trauma, mother had, your grandmother had, this was generational, this is ancestral. My throat is going all croaky, right? Because this is such an important topic, one that I've been banging on for years. And it wasn't until you came along and decided, actually, I remember that my body is sovereign and that it is my body. And you did all the uncomfortable work, because so many women, and this is a beef that I have with society, right? When we talk about sexual trauma, I truly believe 100% of humanity knows somebody that has experienced sexual trauma, whether it's someone in their immediate, whether it's someone in their outer circles, whether it's like their mothers or grandmothers, like a lineage thing. There is sexual trauma within everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it has become that way because everyone was taught to under the rug. We don't talk about it. We ignore
Yes.
it. We avoid it. And then what do you know? It keeps happening. And then
Mm-hmm.
it comes to a person such as yourself or such as myself. And you're like, hang on a minute. Wait a minute. No. This isn't actually how it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And because we've been conditioned to not, we're so used to being disconnected from our bodies. Like we've been conditioned and trained that you need to be disconnected from your bodies, right? You look at the world and you're like, oh, I can't deal with it. It's too hard. My body feels uncomfortable. I'm going to disconnect, right? That's what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's a woman who can actually stay in the presence of that discomfort and be a
Yes.
witness to what's really happening is a powerful woman. And they don't
Yes.
want powerful women because that will completely crumble and destroy the patriarchy. Not men, the patriarchy, and those who subscribe to the patriarchy principles. And so I'm really touching on this because your story is really, and this is only one aspect of your story, but this part of your story is so important because so many women are walking around with the burden and the shame of having experienced some sort of sexual trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what level of degree.
Yeah.
I have another beef with society that people like measure your trauma based on like, well, that wasn't right. Well, it was just this. And it was, it's, let's not do that.
Yes.
That's actually not okay.
Yeah.
So there are so many women walking around with this. And that's why I was really like leaning into what was your process of coming back home to yourself and reconnecting with your body.
Yes.
And what does that look like now? Because
Yeah.
so many women are like, will hear your story and be like, you know what, but it's too hard.
Yes.
The better the devil you know, right? I'm just going to stay where I am, even though I hate it. And even though I'm disconnected and all the rest of it, because I know what's there.
Yes.
As opposed to going on this journey of discovery and uncertainty. And so I really want to emphasize what happens because yes, it's uncomfortable. Like it's really uncomfortable. And if you're open to it, leaning a little bit more into how it was uncomfortable for you, just so that we can honor that it is uncomfortable, but we forget how fucking powerful we are.
Yes.
We forget how powerful we are. We're so disconnected from our power, what we're capable of doing. And we feed into the lie that we're incapable or that it's too hard or it's going to mess up everything, that we forget how powerful we are. So are you open to leaning a little bit into the discomfort and the uncomfortable process?
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest, like it's still an ongoing process for me because I had so much shame. I did. And there's so many layers of that shame, as you spoke about, especially how society labels us, and especially how doctors have called us crazy in the past and just given us a tablet for speaking up how we feel. I'm very, very passionate about women expressing themselves. And for me, I've had a lot of discomfort in my body and just, what's the word? I think it's like dysmorphia, where it's like I don't know my own body and I can't see my own body because of the shame that I felt and because of the rapes, yes, and the sexual abuse that I endured, unfortunately. So for me, the pain of the sexual rapes were when I was drunk. And so for me, it was really, really, really having a look in the mirror and looking at my shadows and looking at why does this keep on happening to me and why am I a victim and why do they pick me? And I had to really, really look at that. And it's really uncomfortable. It's really hard when you just want to put the blame onto this man. You want to just really, really, really do. And to be honest, like it's still really, really a little bit of a tender spot. But I had to really see what was my place to play in this moment. And I had to really open up my heart and say, well, if this man truly felt he was allowed to take advantage of me in this situation, how do I know where his mind was? How do I know what he has experienced in his life? How do I don't know anything basically of what that man experienced in life for him to be able to think that he can take advantage of me. and rape me in the way that he did. And to the extreme is when, for me, the last person that did it, I screamed at the top of my lungs about it. I screamed as high as I could, even though like I was blacked out and I had to wake myself up. I had slapped myself to get out of this like so drunken state that I had to get out of the bed that he was and like push him off in the most horrendous ways because he was heavy, and had to scream at my friends, I need this man out of here. He just like pushed himself onto me in a sexual way, and I did not ask for this. And you know, like he was basically telling me that I was lying. And so it was very, very difficult situation where all my friends didn't actually believe me. And so, yeah, it was a very, very difficult situation and very, very embarrassing. Like the whole neighborhood heard me at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and this man did this. But coming back to like, I always know my truth, and I always know my voice, and I always know my voice was my gift, and I always know that truth always comes out in the end. And they ended up believing me in the end, but it just took a little bit of a journey to get there. And in the end, I realized that I didn't have to prove myself. In the end, the only one that I really had to love and to prove myself to was myself. In the end, I realized that even though I could have like had like a handful, maybe even 2 hands full of men that took advantage of me, not just sexually, in emotional ways as well, or abusive ways, even though that they did that to me, I still played a part, and I still had a part to play in their lives. Whatever it was, this was all part of evolution. It was all part of my healing journey. It's all part of who I am now, and having a big heart, having a pure spirit, but also at the same time, it's just like, not everyone is like me, and accepting that no matter where I've been and no matter what I've been through, I've still got to love me, because nobody else is going to love me the way that I love me. And no matter how many boys I try to bring into my life and try to love me the way that I want them to love me, they're not ever going to love me in the depths that I need to love me. And the more and more I grew into that, and the more and more I understood that, and the more and more I let go of the shame, let go of the pain, let go of the it was like I had a judgment on myself for the life that I had before kids, because this all happened before I had kids. And yes, there's many aspects of me that was playing a role, and many aspects of me that was enjoying that role. There's many aspects of me that knew that I had a higher path, and that was like an out-of-body experience, and seeing myself and witnessing myself a lot. And the more that I can do that in my life, and the more that I can see myself in a pure light, even though some things that I did might not be so pure, is realizing that I just didn't have the tools that I needed to help myself. And the more that I can have compassion and love for myself, the more I can do that for the people that I know in my life and come into my life, and the clients that come through into my life, the more friendships and the more sisters that I have in my life, the more my heart grows, and the more that I want to help myself, the more I'm helping others as well.
I love this for you, and I love this for the women that are tuning in. And I just want to acknowledge that what you're doing is extraordinary. And if every woman were held and met and guided through what you've been taking yourself through, the world would be a very different place, because we can do it on our own. I did it on my own a lot as well. But there's just something about being held and met and witnessed and seen by someone who's been there, and then it's just like this level of acceptance, and you're like,
Yes.
Oh, really? Like, I don't have to prove myself. Like, you'll accept me as I am.
Yeah.
And I did back in August last year, I did something called the Shame Monologues, And every day I discuss various aspects of my shame and world shame and whatever. And I had a group of women that were witnessing me. And what I was realizing more and more is that it's not about, we never had to prove ourselves, right? I didn't have to prove to anyone that this happened, even though that was my experience.
Yes.
Right? The people closest to me didn't believe it, or they didn't want to know about it.
Yes.
And so you feel like, oh, so what then, something's wrong with me. Like maybe I deserved it or whatever it is. And then we have so much shame and judgment towards ourselves, but towards our past selves and our past experiences and our past choices. And then going through the shame monologue. So I keep hitting the shutters. Going through the shame monologues, I had this really big realization of, hang on a minute, I actually love, admire, and respect every iteration of self. Like when I truly reflect back on all the versions of me, all the experiences, all the choices that I made, how I showed up in every single situation with what I had and what I didn't have, I'm like, she's fucking awesome. Like, I am so proud of her. Like, literally, she took me on this journey, and it was a dark night of the soul initiation. Like, no one walked me through this journey, and I feel like so many women have so much shame about their past and their choices and their experiences, and it's like, no, those experiences were by design, right? Because everything's happening for us, not to us. And when our souls chose to come to earth, we have contracts in place. We had made decisions. Like, these are the things that I'm ready to learn. And this one's uncomfortable for most people, but the reality is that a lot of the people that do the worst things to us outside of this human experience are souls that we're co-creating with on the other side, right? We have this contract in place of, I trust you and I need you to co-create this experience with me so that my soul can experience what it needs to experience. So a lot of the people that in this life we might have resentment or anger towards, once we realize how big this is, we're like, it's not, what's what I'm looking for? We're not lessening, or we're not saying it's okay what happened, right? Because as a human and in this humanity, the chaos that we're in, it's not okay. But it's just acknowledging that it's happening for a reason, so that we have an opportunity to change it. And so a lot of people are going to be like, I did not sign up for this shit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's not even a thing that comes across. And it's like the deeper you dig, the more you realize. Has that been an experience for you, that realization?
It has. And it's a gradual process that I've been through, and realizing, like, I know, like, even in my mid 20s to early 30s, that the initiation codes or contracts that I've had with these people, even though that we've had contracts, doesn't mean that we need to hang on to those people as well. Yes. That's the next piece. And even though, like, we are still understanding our ascension and still understanding our journey on this lifetime and why we're actually here, like, I'm still understanding this on a big level. I've still got so much to learn. But there's so much to say when it comes to the codes, the contracts of the people that come into our lives that do break us down a little bit. And there's this cracking of our shells, or cracking of our hearts, or cracking of our auric fields, whatever you want to call it, that they help us to shake. They help us to awaken. They help us to see our own crap, basically. And then there's so much, when we can see that truth, if you're aligned with truth in your life and you want the truth in your life, you will see that. And it might take some time. It might take some hard facts and some hard wake-up calls. You might have to slap yourself a little bit. And it takes true bravery to see that, because not everyone's going to own that either.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's something that I don't talk about super publicly, but I'm in a phase of expression, right?
Yes.
And
Beautiful.
so I'm touching on this because I know that you're open to this and you're aware of this. And it's something that I feel like it's such a healing journey. One, because something someone said to me the other day was, we don't change unless we're challenged. And I was like, I really don't see a fault in that logic. Because when everything's really good, right? And you're like, oh my God, this is the best ever. I'm having so much fun in my life. You don't sit there and go, what can I change? You're
Yeah.
like, how can I have more of this?
Yes.
Right. And so everyone needs to be challenged in order to create change. Right. And
Yes.
as souls, we're not coming on earth just to live out a life. We're coming on earth to create an impact, to gain experiences, to see what it's like in human form, to co-create with other human beings. Like there are so many reasons why we come to earth. It's not just to like come to earth, experience sex,
Yes.
however it's experienced,
Yes.
potentially have children, make lots of money,
That's
and
right.
then die.
Yeah.
Right. Because we're very wealth focused.
Yes.
And I get that. I can be wealth focused too sometimes, because you're like, you want the money. Why we want the money is a different story. But essentially, when we die, it doesn't come with us.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so these conversations are really cool because people who are opening up to it or are already there really understand the value of accepting all of our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, just because you can accept it doesn't mean that that person has to remain in your life. You can create a healthy boundary because you are still having a human experience.
Yes.
And you need to set those boundaries. And so I love this. I love this conversation so much. And I appreciate you being so open and transparent with it. For any woman who's in the thick of it, in the thick of their own initiation, or haven't even touched it because they're like, too hard.
Yeah.
Is there any wisdom that comes through for you to share?
There's so much I could say here, to be honest, and I find it hard to narrow points, to be honest. Trust. Go into your heart and put your hands on your heart and take some deep breaths. And what does your heart say? The more that we can come back into the heart, which is the wisdom from our higher self and our true self, the more we can listen to that rather than the ego or the head or our stories, the more we can actually have a more abundant, in whatever way that you like to see abundance in your life, and have a more peaceful life. And it's taking little steps. It doesn't have to take big steps. And listening to that intuition, even if it means like listening to a meditation every night, if it's a guided meditation, if it's honoring your inner child, like that's a big one. And not everyone realize the value of the inner child work. Such a potent thing. If you can start with those two things, I think, yeah, that would be magic for you. Absolutely.
Definitely. That inner child piece is huge, because if you haven't done any inner child work, your inner child is running your current identity. Like literally who you are, how you're showing up, how you're responding to the world, and how the world is responding to you is based off of your inner child. And most people don't have love and light when it comes to their childhood experiences and things like that. And so inner child work is so important, so that you as the adult is actually running your current identity and not your inner child. So I love that.
Yes.
I also wanted to touch on, because you mentioned, coming back to your heart and trusting, which is absolutely correct. And I also know that a lot of women are so disconnected from themselves. They're so disconnected from their intuition and their hearts. So when someone says connect to your heart, do you have some simple practices or something that you yourself do to like ground yourself back into your body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you want me to go through it with you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
If
I'm
you're
just gonna
open
have a
to
drink
that.
of water and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Woohoo.
So just a simple practice that I do when I feel that anxiety is taking over, when I'm too much in my mind, when I'm too much in my masculine, when I feel like everything of the world is just taking over and I'm just like, it's almost like everything's imploding onto me and I feel heavy. So what I like to do is close my eyes and put my hands onto my heart, and I'd like you to do that too, like this. And just witness your heart. And by doing that is actually putting your attention to your heart. And taking some deep breaths here. I want you to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Oh. And if you can do a sigh, it's really, really good. It just helps to release. 2 more. What I want you to do is focus on your heart, like this beautiful muscle that's pumping around beautiful oxygen in your blood. It's keeping you alive. This beautiful heart of yours has got whispers and secrets to tell you. And it's taking a moment of peace and clarity, a moment of softness, a moment of allowing yourself to take the self-care, allowing yourself to trust yourself in this moment, even if it's just for this next minute. Allowing yourself to really deepen into the seat that you are sitting on, witnessing how relaxed you feel in your body, and allowing yourself to deepen your breath if you can here, right into the belly. Allowing yourself to kind of melt on your seat. Allowing yourself to let go of your day. Allowing yourself to have love for yourself and appreciation for everything that you've done today. Allowing yourself to pat yourself on the back and give yourself a hug here if you haven't been able to do that yet. And then it comes to the part where it's just like, wow, what do I really want to do? And I think it's coming back into listening to your heart, because your heart knows the answers. And it's allowing yourself to truly listen and asking your heart, what would you like me to know today? Remember to breathe. I'm listening for any faint whispers that you might be able to hear. It won't come from your mind, it will come from your heart. It come from your inner knowing. And whatever comes is perfect and beautiful, just for you. And it's allowing yourself to truly, truly deepen into this practice. You can take it any way that you want to go, and you could ask it many questions if you wanted to, but it's just starting with the one question every day. What would you like me to know? Your heart will tell you that you're beautiful, and that you're wise, and that you're intelligent, and that you're way beyond what this body is. Your heart will tell you that you are loved and cared for. Your heart will say, thank you for listening to me too. Because your heart has such a beautiful intelligence. It just wants you to connect with it more and more and more. So ladies, the next time you feel an overwhelm, you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you feel like you're alone in the world, that nobody understands you, come back into your heart space. Come back into this beautiful little or big heart of yours that wants to share how much love you have, how much potential and how much soul you have, how much strength you have behind all the struggle. You've got so much strength, so much power, so much beautiful gifts to share with the world. These are all the beautiful things that your heart will tell you and show you and help you realize. So I hope, ladies, this has helped you and helped you let go and help you see your beautiful heart, how beautiful you are and how special you are in the world, and how much you probably haven't been told that, and how much that we really, really need that. And it's okay to feel that. It's just like, why doesn't anyone tell me how amazing I am? And it's okay to feel that too. It's your choice to come back into this beautiful heart space or your inner child space and say, hey, I got you. I love you. Know that you are absolutely worthy of everything that you want in life. If it's love, if it's abundance, if it's travel, if it's freedom and truth. It's coming back to the truth of what you really desire, the truth of becoming you and your soul codes and your soul purity. That's coming back to who you truly are underneath all these stories that you tell yourself. Because that is so beautiful. Your spirit, your beautiful, beautiful spirit underneath all the masks that you wear. And knowing that all of you is still welcomed, even though you like to still wear those masks, you're still welcomed and loved in the world and you're still appreciated. And know that I love you and I see you and you got such a bright, bright future if you allow yourself to be that bright, bright spark of yours. And I see the child that you are, the child of God, the child of the universe, that beautiful starlight you are. Because you are all amazing and you are all bright. And you all have got beautiful missions to fulfill here, if that's what you choose. And know that the beautiful, beautiful angels, your ancestors, your galactic family are always there for you. And they're always cheering you on. And they're always wanting to support you and guide you. You just have to ask. Just have to ask. Sometimes you have to do it more than a whisper and you have to yell at them and tell them, I'm sick of this life and I want this life. And you have to tell them so that they know that you're ready for the next steps forward. And I know, sister, it's so damn hard when you're in the deep, deep night of the soul. I know. Just know that you are so worthy of so much more. And there's a light beyond the darkness. There's a beautiful light beyond this darkness, and know there's a beautiful life waiting for you. And know that you're so worthy of so much more. Once you are ready, take some breaths. Start tapping your feet on the ground to ground yourself back into this beautiful body of yours. Start moving and grooving if you need to. Start tapping your fingers on your heart just really gently. Start moving your fingers around, give them a little shake. Open those beautiful eyes. And come back into remembrance. Like, what do you remember from that beautiful space? What do you remember from those beautiful whispers of your soul and your heart? Like, that is the magic, right?
Absolutely. Woo! I'm just coming back down.
Yeah.
That was
Absolutely.
beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. So
Thank you.
welcome.
It's amazing how when we think of doing the work and, doing all the things and breaking the cycles and taking all this responsibility, we often feel like it's overwhelming because it's this really big thing. And absolutely, there are times where big things are required. But as a daily practice, as a commitment and devotion to self, it literally can be this sort of an experience where you just take, even if it's 2 minutes,
That's right.
as it's a daily practice, it becomes, you can get into that space a lot quicker, right? And so
Yes.
it can actually be a 2-minute experience to hear the whispers of your heart,
Yes.
hear the whispers of source coming through
Yes.
because you're out of your head.
Yes.
And what a magical place.
Yeah, it's just allowing yourself to trust. Once you can start making little steps to trust more and more and more, and actually trust what you hear. I think that's a big piece for myself, even this lifetime, is being trust because of the amount of gaslighting that I've had, the amount of manipulation, the amount of crap that I've had in my life, and the amount of abuse. Is coming back to the trust of self. Hey, this ain't actually true. That's your story that you're projecting on me. No, no, no. And it's letting go of those projections that people have put onto us and coming back into that heart space and trusting that beautiful heart.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's a really important question. Is that actually my truth? Which we're not even, it's not even in our realm. We don't even think that that's a question to ask. And that is literally your gateway to learning how to trust yourself and your freedom and your sovereignty.
Yes.
Is this actually my truth? Do I actually believe this? And then having the courage to answer that honestly for yourself, right? It's no one will ever hear this answer unless you want them to. So how honest can we be?
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, if every woman did this, can you imagine? Like, no, really, can you imagine?
It's exciting. It gets me quite emotional, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the light that could happen. Yeah. Because that's the thing. I feel that us women are often the leaders when it comes to the light and when it comes to the change in the world, and something that I am passionate about, the new earth that's coming through.
Absolutely. Can you quickly, I say quickly because I want to respect your time and everyone's time. And I know it's a really big conversation.
Yes.
But when you say the new earth is coming through, what is coming through?
Okay, because I was able to get on my channel, then I'm able to talk a little bit more that I'm in my channel per se. And for me, New Earth is the breaking down the destruction, the masculine, the toxic masculine that we've been living in for how long? Like, I can't even understand how long, to be honest. It's breaking down the 3D world, the 3D world of control, 3D world of the masculine, the 3D world of the physical aspect of the control of money as well, and the lives that we live in. Unfortunately, there's going to have to be some sort of shake up here in what we know of the way that we live, unfortunately, to get to the 4, 5, 6, 7D. And the way that I see the new earth is that we live in more harmony and that we live in ways of not so much control around money, and the way that we live and the way that it's really, really hard to explain on a 3D level as well. The way that I see us is actually living in communities and living without big high rises and big constructional buildings, to be honest, and living off the land. And yes, that's a beautiful dream of mine. Yes, to be living on the land and within community and within beautiful other light workers and empaths and people that actually want to contribute to society in a beautiful, loving way. The way that New Earth is coming through for me is actually letting go of all the false realities that I have lived in and have been pushed onto me. And the more that I embody the beautiful soul that I'm meant to be in this lifetime, that's more the 5D, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9D self. And the more that we can come back into our heart, the more that we can experience that beautiful new earth frequency, because that's what it is. It's a frequency that's getting more and more intense.
Mm. I'm here for the frequency.
Yes.
I'm here for the shift.
Yes.
And it's, it's the same vision, different words. Everything you're saying, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
So in the research that I've been doing and what's been coming through for me is it's a dismantling of the patriarchy through creating matriarchal communities and societies, right?
Yes.
Where, patriarchy is power, control, how much money, how much wealth can I hold? And the matriarchy is man-centered, woman-centered, child-centered, and distribution of wealth and everyone's needs being met. So that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Yes.
With the added beauty of the frequency of it all. So I love this so much. And thank you for sharing that perspective. Now, you also are very gifted and you have beautiful offerings and ways for women to actually deepen this experience and these conversations with you. What are some of the ways that women can work with you?
Yeah, for sure. So at the moment, I am doing Akashic record readings, which is something that I started diving into about 8 months ago. And it's something that supports you to let go of those contracts, those agreements, all the things that we have taken from past lives and brought into this lifetime. And so what happens when we don't let go of those? We can be stuck in loops. We can be stuck in those toxic relationships. We can be stuck into money issues. We can be stuck into old programming, like 3D programming. When it comes to our business, like a lot of women now are stepping into their business and they're wanting to create it in a more 4, 5, 6D business reality. Can't really do that when we have got contracts from past lives. We can't do that when we've got agreements from past lives that we agreed to always give our money to the men in government or whatever the names were back in those days, right? And when we keep those contracts and they're not closed, they're not let go, they're not burnt to the ground, we're constantly going to be in loops and in pain, basically. So I do Akashic record readings that assist women on the healing journey, which really, really supports women that are on the healing journey, which I absolutely love. I also do energy healings, which are for beautiful sisters that are ready to release pain, discomfort. They're ready to release abuse, ready to release their shadows. I do a lot of beautiful energy sessions that end up being to do with angelic frequencies. I've got a lot of angelic technology within my spirit, per se. I like to say it's light technology. So I do a lot of light language with angels and angel toning as well. So that comes through with the sessions. I also work with beautiful goddesses, Isis and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. So there's a lot of priestess work that comes through with my energy sessions as well. So yeah, that's that in a nutshell. I could talk about this probably for hours on end, to be honest, but those are the two beautiful things that I offer at the moment.
That is amazing. And I could talk about it for hours on end too. Literally every time I do one of these calls or I work with a client, I always call in Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Goddess Isis, just
Beautiful.
Amongst a whole bunch of others.
Yes.
But like they're my first three that I
Yes.
call on. And so I love that
Yes.
priestess energy.
Yes.
And I will share the links for people to
Thank
find
you.
you and access you in the show notes. Absolutely.
Yes.
And to wrap up the conversation, is there anything you feel that wants to come through that you want to share? Or do you?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
share.
you. So one of the first questions that you asked was about my gifts, and I shared about my light language. So I was going to share a little bit of our light language transmission, if that's okay with you, hun.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So I want to do some light language all about self-power and all about an empowerment. So if you ladies that are listening could close your eyes and come in back into your heart space, please, so that you are open and witnessing and allowing your body to hear and allowing your body to witness and allowing your body to be open to the healing of this. Ishkuna shkia atu shkiana tia akutu shkiana e ora kiana tia shkiana tia kata tata tikuta tia nada. Ia ora ia shkuria ki shkiano tia shkiana tia kia shkia tia shkia tia shkur. So getting a lot of light codes coming down around your heart space. Shikia no shikia shikia for the woman wanting to shikia clear their heart. Shikia no shikia to the shikutu dia shikia tia ianoia ianoia shikia to shikia natia clearing up a lot of stagnation around the heart, around heartbreak, and around betrayal. Shikia shikia to shikia tia shikia tia shikia kia and clearing out the cords. Shikia kia to link to the betrayal. Shikia kia link to the shame. Shikia no tia shukuya tia shikia no to the tia no tia shikia tia shikia ta. Shukutia kia tia katsiko tia shukutia ayana shikia aria shu ya hi ya shu yeah. Just seeing absolute beautiful light going around your heart spaces. Shikiana shikia toria shikiata ionora shiato. Thank you, ladies, for allowing me to do that for you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful gift. Oh, this is going to be so magical. I'm like so grateful and excited for the women to receive all your beautiful medicine, your magic, your codes, your wisdom, your story, your everything. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast, part of this experience with me. We connected, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, maybe a year, maybe even only a year ago. And just like being in your world has been such a beautiful honor. And I'm just so grateful that this conversation got to happen. And I feel like there's more. There's always more, right? You can never fit everything into like an hour and a half podcast. But just from my heart to yours, thank you so much for being available and open and honest in this conversation. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you for allowing me to express myself in my highest light and allowing me to be so open and allowing this beautiful space to, feel nurtured while I'm being so open, because even though I am a beautiful channel and even though I am a beautiful woman that has been through a lot, it takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of bravery to do these sort of things and to be open and honest. And, the last thing I want to do is to hurt anyone or to put anyone down or to trigger them in a way that it hurts them and not want to listen anymore. So thank you for creating this beautiful space, this beautiful movement, this beautiful loving space for sisters to be themselves, and a beautiful space for me to, get out of my own way and show up. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, lovely. Thank you for being here, gorgeous woman, for rising with us, remembering with us, and refusing to shrink inside a world that benefits from your silence. If this episode moved you, cracked you open, or reminded you of who the hell you are becoming, share it with a woman who is ready to rise too. I want to invite you to follow, subscribe, and leave a rating so this message becomes too loud, too wild, and too undeniable to be ignored. The movement grows because of women like you. Women who choose truth over comfort, liberation over obedience, and voice over disappearance. You can connect with me, Samantha Sanford, at Rebel Matriarch, and all links to our guest are in the show notes below. Until next time, stay rooted, stay rebellious, and remember, the world changes when women refuse to disappear.